AEW All In London 2024. That's what we got left. We've got to preview this show, which is happening this weekend on August 25th from London, England at Wembley Stadium. Second go around for AEW, biggest show of the year for them as far as size, attendance, so on and so forth. Nothing else is going to come close this year. I guarantee it. I think this show is well built. I think this is a good build. And it's been indicative of how much the booking has improved in AEW as well. Because everything on this card has had time to grow, time to be nurtured, especially the top matches, right? And I know some people are, oh, this one's just put together like Hapdash and they put it together on Collision. You didn't see on another. Who cares? Like these are, if it was your main event programs, then you'd be like, well, this is kind of weird. But you know, the trios titles, who cares if they were just built on Collision? That's fine. It's a fucking mid-card match. I don't give a shit. They'll do their thing. It's fine. And it has its little story. It has its little build. I don't care that it was spread all over the place. You know, like the booking in AEW, while still not perfect, creatively overall, the booking has been significantly better over the past couple of months. There's some things that are wonky. You know, the Buck stuff, you know, with the general manager, the evil general manager stuff, the authority figures, that still stinks. That's bad. But there's a lot of things that are working really well, such as Danielson and Swerve, Osprey and MJF. These things are very, very well built, and they should be, because these are your featured matches. These are part of your featured matches. They're not the only featured matches, but they're part of it. Everything on this card has this story. I was talking about this earlier on the show. Everything on this card has a story. There is nothing so far on this card in the world. Look, I'm recording this on a Tuesday the 20th, August 20th. So between now and the show this Sunday, there's going to be more. There are going to be more matches that are going to be added. Like that's inevitable. That's just how Tony works. But right now, like everything has a story. Everything has been built. Nothing is just like I was saying earlier. You can't pull out the argument where they're just throwing matches together. No, even the Gauntlet match has a little story around it. So the contention, I'm telling you, the contention that AEW is the promotion that doesn't tell stories has been false for a while, but it's even falser now when you look at how everything is put together here. I will no longer be entertaining people who tell me, oh, AEW doesn't have stories. I'm just gonna shove them away. They don't watch the product. They don't keep up. It's fine. Like it's going to be a tell. It's going to be a tell moving forward. This company doesn't have stories. You just ignore them. You can't, by engaging these people, you've already lost at this point. You know, anyway, don't even argue with people who say, oh, AEW doesn't have stories. You've already lost at this, if you engage them. It's fine. Let them live in their perfectly little built ignorance that they have, and we'll move on and just do our thing on our own. Yeah, I'd even say that the show has too many stories. You know, sometimes it's fun to just like slap a match together and like, here you go, enjoy. Let's start with the main event. Swerve Strickland defending the AEW World Title against Bryan Danielson. If Bryan Danielson loses, of course, he retires. He stops wrestling. Look, we've been covering this over the past couple of weeks because Danielson's been in the news, you know, a lot, talking about yeah, I've been covering it on the Dynamite reviews, and even here when we're talking about contract situations, whatnot. Look, Bryan Danielson is a worker. I can't say this enough. He is a worker. He is a pro wrestler through and through. He knows how to get you in a building. He knows how to get you interested with what he's up to. If he has to clasp onto his neck, he will. His neck has been his greatest tool in all of this. Throughout the years that he's returned from the imposed retirement, the neck has been his greatest tool in making you feel things. And I myself, I've said this before. I myself, the first few times that he wrestled back in WWE, when he'd land on his neck and he'd do this, I'd go, oh shit, no. I'd buy into it. He got me. But since then, I'm like, I'm on to you now, Brian. I got you, Brian. I know what's up, Brian. There is no way that he's losing this week. I am so confident about this prediction. I am so confident about it. I am so confident that he's winning, that they want the sympathetic babyface win. I am so confident that that's happening for multiple reasons. All of this thing with, my daughter, 7 years old, wants me to retire. That's fine. Maybe it was true. Maybe it was a work. I think, all of this, and now doing his, then doing the, interviews and saying, oh, my daughter, she hopes I lose, come on, man. Okay. He's laying it on so thick. He's talking about the fact that he's going into the biggest show of the year and he doesn't have a contract. I do not buy that for a second. I don't buy it for a second. And then he starts talking about, I'm going to need neck surgery by the end of the year, which maybe, I'm not saying that he won't, but I'm saying, isn't all of this stuff convenient, that it's all coming into the public sphere, into our consciousness, all around the time where he is wrestling a huge event, a huge main event, putting his career on the line, and he has all these post-career obligations that are coming for. Isn't all of this convenient? I don't buy it. I don't. So, and look, and you know what they even did to make sure that the babyface aspect comes across? Do you know what they slightly turned Swerve Strickland heel again? If you think that what he did at Dynamite last week on the 14th, excuse me, if you don't think what he was doing was heel work, I don't know what to tell you. But there he is, being sinister, being evil, attacking Danielson, and people aren't necessarily into it. They're rooting for Danielson. They're cheering for him. They're going to milk this puppy dry. Swerve is going to work this main event as a heel. It's going to be perfect. And do not even consider that we are not ending this show with 50,000 people up on their seats, pointing to the sky as the final countdown plays, with Danielson heroically holding up the AEW title. The shots panning all around the arena, fireworks, pyro. Let's be real here. We know how this is ending, and this is not a bad thing, because the vibes here are going to be tremendous. This crowd is going to be alive for this match. Can you imagine? People wanted Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness for this spot. For Danielson anyway, on this match. Maybe not the main event. Can you imagine? This is what people thought they wanted, I should say. And this is not an indictment on Strickland. Strickland is going to have another run with this title. If the rumor is true, we're getting Strickland versus Hangman at All Out 2 weeks later. And that is a That is a match that does not require a championship match. It doesn't. And then, let's say this neck surgery thing has to happen. Let's just bear with me for a second. Let's say it does have to happen. Well, you have Strickland versus Page. Page finally wins, and then he gets to fight Danielson at Full Gear. No, not at Wrestle Dream. Full Gear, which is Hangman's pay-per-view. Don't forget. It was named after one of Hangman's gimmicks. We go to Full Gear, and he fights Danielson, and he wins the title back. Hangman does. And if so, this has been such excellent booking throughout the entire thing. Then Danielson can take his break. He can go have his surgery. He can go hang out with his daughter. The prospects here are phenomenal. This has been such a good build. It's been such a good, solid crescendo of a build. It didn't spill all the beans on the first night of the challenge or whatnot. It built more and more and more. It has been solid. It's been a good pro wrestling build. It's been an angle, a wonderfully put together angle. Just tremendous stuff. I'm excited for this, as you can tell. Then you have AEW's Women's World Title match. Toni Storm will be defending against Mariah May. Now, see, this is the opposite of Strickland and Danielson, where Strickland and Danielson was a crescendo, and didn't, dump its load on the first night. This, unfortunately, is what happened with Mariah May and Toni Storm. A feud, which started off blazing hot. Scorching. The turn will forever be one of the best surprise out of the blue one night turns. We knew she was eventually going to turn, but at that moment, no, I don't think anyone was expecting it. And just a tremendous visual, tremendous moment. Had the entire pro wrestling world buzzing about how great this was. And they have not been able to keep this match hot. I would say it is cold right now. Cold. And that is a shame. And I put a lot of this on the creative behind this, where they should have just stuck to the plan, stuck to the idea that Mariah just wants to murder people. You have her come out every week, every other week, and she's facing a J-Brone, and she dismantles them, and then after the match, just pummels them into a bloody heap. Have a local talent come in, pay them a little more to run the razor. Why wouldn't you do that? Right? And then Mariah looks like a maniac, and she's out for blood. You keep escalating this, but instead they started doing vignettes with her where Mariah has a lot of qualities. She really does, and I think she's a good pro wrestler. But obviously the performance part, the acting, the whatever you want to call it, she's still very uncomfortable in it. She's very green. The first promo she cut, where she came out in Tony's robes and was just strewn over the top rope and talking straight in the middle, just directly to the camera, never addressing the audience who were booing her. She had great heat. She could have interrupted at any given moment to address them, to just look at them, but she didn't. That's inexperience. That's not that she can't do it. It's inexperience. And it's never caught on fire back again, even though Toni Storm is trying. Toni understands what the stakes are here. And you can tell in how, the fire that she's bringing, but Mariah is flat, completely flat. So I'm afraid this really did cool off. Now, when Toni Storm hits the ring for her match this weekend, and she's back in the red and black, back in the Tony Storm apparel that made her a superstar in the UK, an indie stalwart, a woman that everyone saw potential in, then we'll be good to go. Like, that'll be a great moment. I think we all agree this is what's happening, right? The story that they're telling is, this is how they dumped the Timeless Tony stuff. Tony Storm is having a mental breakdown right now. She's losing her mind. She cut her hair, all of that. And she's been slowly abandoning all the things that make the Timeless Tony gimmick. And now she's going to go back to Tony Storm as we once knew her, kind of thing. I think Tony Storm retains on top of that. And this feud must continue. The AEW American title will be on the line. MJF is going to defend against Will Ospreay. I think this is a foregone conclusion that Will is winning. However, don't put it past anyone, okay, that Will Ospreay will go, yeah, no, I'll do the JOB. Max can retain. It'll be a good moment. I got the big win last year. Like, don't be surprised if Will Ospreay ends up lobbying to lose a match, because that's just how he is sometimes. But I think this is a foregone conclusion, and I really like the build here. I thought this was good, and I think this is, I think this is the perfect combination of MJF's more sports entertaining instincts with the work. I think this has been a great combination of both. I think Max has really shined in this. Of course, you had the 60-minute Iron Man, in which I thought he was absolutely tremendous. Right up to the finish, of course. That's a whole other thing. But the one thing that irks me in this match, and Will Ospreay's fantastic, and he was fantastic here as well. And yes, as Chad is pointing out, he will return. The international title will return. But I am not excited for the Tiger Driver 91 bullshit. And I hope that we move on from this, because it stopped making sense weeks ago. It stopped making sense, I'd say, when Bryan Danielson came back from this threatening injury that Will Ospreay delivered unto him because of the Tiger Driver 91. And Will Ospreay was still upset about it, despite the guy being back and wrestling in a friggin' Anarchy in the Arena match. Despite that, So I hope to God we move on from this. It was annoying, and I don't want to reiterate everything, but Will Ospreay did not hesitate to use the Tiger Driver 91 on Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland wriggled out of the Tiger Driver 91. Will was going for it, and they retconned that. They ignored that. They maintained that. Oh, you didn't use it on time. So yes, he was using it. And then you have Queen Aminata using a Tiger Driver 91, on Ring of Honor. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. Like, who cares then? Let's just use it right. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. So it's not even a good, compelling story. And we're going to get NXT faces. And, that is the part that irks me the most. I hope whatever they come up with is good. You've got two great minds in this ring, right? MJF is fantastic. Will is fantastic. And I'm sure they hear the commentary. I'm sure they hear the disgruntledness. Hi, Max. But I'm sure they'll come up with something. And I hope we never speak of this again, because it's really grating now. But it's going to be a great match, I'm sure. And Will Ospreay is winning. TNT title coffin match. Jack Perry will be Perry. Am I playing Dark Souls? Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. Sure. I mean, this is going to be wild, and Darby Allin's going to jump off of things, and they're going to do a real glass. They're going to do a real glass wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing, which I hope. I hope it's not too big a thing. Like I feel. I understand why they do it. It had marked the anniversary of it. I understand why you do the little insider jokey joke here. But I would also hope that we understand in AEW now that it feels like we've moved on from CM Punk. Let's just keep that one buried, okay? Let's just move away, okay? I hope we're done. I think Jack Perry retains here. Jack Perry's TNT title run has been extremely underwhelming. And I think I think after this, they need to have him do things to just get some proper heat. And not just do elite lackey things. Just challenge someone and be a bitch. Just be annoying. That's what I'm hoping for. I think Jack Perry retains. But again, this has been a nice little solid build. Not gonna lie. In the chat, we're saying Sting appearance? ? I mean, I know Sting. Teased that he was gonna watch this match, right? Something to that effect. I mean, you could have him show up. I mean, if AEW has legends that they can tap into to have an appearance once in a while, and if you're going to do an appearance, have it doing it in Wembley is huge. Sure, why not? It'll suck that he'll have come to see the match to see Darby lose, But anyway, TBS title match. Mercedes Moné will be defending her title against Britt Baker. This is another one that has lost a bit of sauce. And I think that if it wasn't for the addition of Camille, this would probably feel colder than it is. But I think they did a fantastic job with Camille recently, establishing her as the heater. Yes, I know Britt was suspended. I get it. But even Britt last week, and I talked about it on my Dynamite review, I thought even Britt last week coming in through the audience, I thought she sort of sauntered in. She hopped over the board. There was no urgency to what she was doing. She was fumbling with her glove on the outside of the ring. Like I think it's all kind of bullshit. I think it's all kind of bullshit. But I don't think Mercedes Moné is dropping the title. Not now. Chat says Britt gets some help from Jamie. Look, if you want to bring Jamie Hayter back, it's the perfect spot to do it. Do I think it's a good moment to do it? Like, I think it's a good moment to do it. Do I think that it'll be relevant to the match in a such that it will guarantee a victory? It'll probably be one of these things where Jamie's gonna, walk and brawl with Camille all the way to the back, and they'll be gone for the rest of the match. I still think Mercedes is gonna win. But that place is gonna come unglued if Jamie Hayter shows up. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Britt and Jamie have real life heat. I haven't heard that. Although I wouldn't be surprised. Britt seems to have a lot of heat with a lot of people these days. The Patriarchy will be defending the AEW Trios titles against the House of Black and the Bang Bang Gang versus another team, TBA. I don't know. I have very little. I don't know what to think about this. It'll be fine. Like, these are all very talented, good people. Like, if this is one of these matches where it's just chaos and bodies flying, and I'm into it. Like, one of the an AEW special, right? There's a fair chance that could happen. If not, I don't know. I'm more or less into it. Not gonna lie. I think it'll be a good match, but I'm not like. And I know it's been well built. There's been stories. Don't get me wrong. I'm just okay. It's good. Let's get these people on the show. It's fine. AEW World Tag Team Title 3-way match. The Young Bucks are going to defend against FTR and the Acclaimed. I absolutely hate this. I hate This is like, again, there's a story, there's a build, but I don't think this has been good. I don't think this has been good. Unfortunately, the Young Bucks have proved me wrong, where my expectations were like they were going to do an authority figure angle, but we're probably going to do it differently and well, because it's the Young Bucks, guys who've had their fingers on the pulse of the business for years. And now it's just like, it's just the same humdrum run-of-the-mill stuff. The Acclaimed are just completely tired, and they're shoehorning FTR in here. Look, probably, maybe the fact that the Lucha Bros are leaving has probably had an impact on this booking. Don't get me wrong, but I am not into this. I don't know why this is a thing. I don't think the Young Bucks have been good recent. Like I don't even think they're like the match they had last week against the Acclaimed. I don't even think was that good. I think the Bucks have with their authority figure stuff has been convoluted and dumb and full of holes, and it's been bad. Despite me being very hopeful from when it started, and the Acclaimed are just disposable for me. To me, it's a tired act. I'm not into them. I'm not into the Acclaimed anymore. So I got nothing for you on this front here. I don't have any pithy analysis. Okay, we'll press play and make it happen. I don't even care who wins. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, maybe in the big time situation, the Bucks are going to show up. And the Bucks are the Young Bucks. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But anyway. Then we have the Casino Gauntlet match. As far as we know, Orange Cassidy has been is the only man in the match so far. I love these gauntlet matches. I thought so. This will be what, the third? The two others were a blast. I think this is tremendous. I'm excited for this. Lots of surprises. Probably be some local talent in here. I'm expecting Michael Oku. He's AEW destined, right? That's the big rumor going around. A lot of people are expecting the Ricochet debut, as Chad is pointing out as well. Is this where you debut him? Because he has to win. That's the thing. Right? Doesn't he? Shouldn't he win? I'm pretty sure Ricochet will probably see it as a bad omen if he's added into his first match and then loses. Then he's like, oh shit, I'm right back to square one. I'm right back to square one. We'll see. And then the FTW title match where Chris Jericho will be taking on Hook. A straight up match. I think Hook has been improving. He's been improving on many fronts. He's been improving. I thought his promo last Wednesday was very good. Probably the best that he's done so far. And I think he's been improving in the ring as well. Should we take the FTW title off of Chris Jericho? Sure, why not? But then at the same time, Hook could go. You know what I would actually like? I would like Hook to forget about this, then go win a couple of matches, then challenge Jack Perry, because they were a thing for a short while. You got some history there. That could be fun. I don't know, the FTW title, who cares? Like, who possibly cares? The only reason we care is because Chris Jericho is trying to make it a thing, trying to make it feel important, when we all know deep down inside it doesn't. Sorry, Taz. So, it's like, it's fine. Maybe I think it's time for this feud to wrap up. I think we need to pack it up, send it home, boys. We're good. And then there's a match on the and then forgot to mention, there's Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander for the CMLL Women's World Title, but they're going to have a pre-show match beforehand. It's going to be Chris and Stokely versus Willow and I can't remember right now, and I don't have the note right in front of me. I'm sure chat will be thrilled to tell me. And that's going to be a match on the pre-show. And whoever wins that match gets to pick the stipulation for the World Championship match. So that's so that's going to be something. That's going to be something. I'm excited to see this match, to see Statlander and Willow go at it again. They did it a couple of weeks ago on the Dynamite, I'm not mistaken. And I thought the match was okay, and I was expecting more out of them, but maybe this is the one where they turn it up and they let loose. So I'm kind of excited. Is it Ishii? I think it is. I think it is Tomohiro Ishii who's teaming with Willow, right? You got Big Tom Ish, making some of the easiest money of his entire career in this little, being a resident of Arlington, Texas for a few weeks, then flying into London to do a neat little intergender match where he's gonna just have to throw Stokely Hathaway around. That, my friends, is what you call easy money. So I'm into this. I think it's a good card overall. And I think with the atmosphere, the building, how people are going to be into it, and the quality of all these builds is going to carry a lot, I think. And look, AEW pay-per-views have a tendency to deliver and over-deliver. I'm excited to see what kind of review I'm going to have for you next week when I plonk down and I break this down in painstaking detail. That's probably going to... I'm hoping for a slow news week next week because we have got a lot to talk about just with this show. And then we're going to have the bash at the Berlin, right? Isn't that next week? Or the week after? The Berlin Bash, isn't that next week? So we got to preview that on top of it. Show's already ready for next Tuesday, folks.